collaborate and fight against the foreign nationals that are taking advantage of our economical freedom.
When it is a white person in South Africa, undocumented, he's called an investor. Not only a white person, including Indians and Chinese. These Guptas didn't have proper papers here. These Guptas didn't have proper papers. No one dared called them Kwerekweres. No one. But if it was my African brothers, we're going to be called Kwerekweres because they don't have papers.
Welcome to the Dissect. Today, we are stepping into a conversation that is painful, emotional, and deeply complex. Xenophobia in South Africa. A word that has come to represent fear, anger, and repeated cycles of violence against foreign nationals. But behind the headlines, there are human beings on both sides. Now look. Over the years, South Africa has experienced repeated waves of attacks targeting foreign nationals, including Nigerians and other African migrants. Reports across different periods have shown foreign-owned shops looted, communities displaced, and in some cases, lives lost. These incidents have been widely condemned across Africa and internationally. And video evidence over time has shown moments of physical violence, destruction of property, and forced evictions which continue to circulate and spark outrage across the continent. But South African authorities have also repeatedly stated that these are acts of criminality and not the will of the entire nation. Now, why do some South Africans feel this way? To understand this fully, we have to listen to the fears inside South Africa. Many South Africans, especially in poorer communities, struggle with high unemployment, pressure on housing and services, and competition for informal jobs. Some believe foreign nationals contribute to these pressures. This belief has been supported by certain political rhetoric over time, though experts repeatedly caution that immigrants are often unfairly blamed for broader economic challenges. So for many South Africans, this is not always framed as hatred, but as survival anxiety that does not justify violence, but it helps to explain the tension. For Nigerians, Ghanaians, Zimbabweans, Somalis, and many others living in South Africa, the experience has often felt different. Many describe fear, insecurity, and repeated attacks over the years. In response to recent tensions, Nigeria has raised strong diplomatic concerns, including summoning South African representatives and demanding protection for its citizens. Some Nigerians have even requested voluntary repatriation due to safety concerns. Across the continent, reactions have often included public outrage, calls for protection of Africans abroad, and in some past cases, retaliatory attacks on South African businesses in other countries. South African authorities have repeatedly condemned xenophobic violence. Government statements have emphasized that these attacks violate constitutional values. Law enforcement is mandated to arrest perpetrators, and efforts are being made to prevent further escalation. At the same time, Nigerian authorities have demanded investigations into attacks on citizens, called for autopsy and legal transparency in deaths, and engaged diplomatically with South Africa for accountability. Both governments have also continued dialogue around migration pressures and long-term solutions. Now, the human question: what makes this continue? Why does xenophobia persist? Xenophobia sits at the intersection of economic hardship, political narratives, social frustration, and misinformation. When these combine, fear finds a target, and that target becomes the foreigner. But listeners, Africa is a shared space, and when Africans turn against Africans, we all lose something deeper than poverty or politics. We lose our unity, we lose dignity, and more importantly, we lose each other. Xenophobia is not just a South African issue, it is a continental warning sign that economic pain must never be transformed into human violence. This is the Dissect. Stay informed, stay fair, stay human.